preventative cleaning products that we recommend, and so that you don't have to use harsh chemicals like the chlorine and all of that. We also happen to find at Whole Foods the all-purpose natural cleaner.
Smells really good.
Smells really good, and
It is not toxic.
and it works fine. You know, it doesn't leave any greasy residue or anything. The last category is living organisms. Viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungi, and worms. And we're going to talk much more in detail about this a little later on, but animal fat is the major carrier of viruses and bacteria. And you'll hear from Dr. Masood in a minute why it's so important to eliminate animal fat out of your diet.
One real quick, animal fat and animal protein in general, when they get killed, their immune system when they are alive fights about this bacteria and viruses. What happens when they get killed? There's no immune system. Stays in there. And that's one of the first things that, like E. coli or all this garbage that is in the meat, it can get into your body. Now your body fights it at the expense of your energy.
So, and then, make sure that you wash all your fruits and vegetables thoroughly, preferably with Veggie Wash. We have a good one sitting back there. You can take a look at it after the seminar. Because there's a lot of insecticides, parasites, waxes that are put on our foods that our bodies are just not meant to digest those.
Now, one quick thing is all those products, most of them are not for sale. We just bought them so you can see as a sample how they look like. We have some for sale product here, but most of them just for you looking how they look,
Right.
when you want to buy them at the supermarket.
So let's talk about what can we all do to start eliminating some of those toxins out of our bodies. If you could please look with me on page 4 of the first part of your handout. It says, it's labeled Food Detox Schedule and Recipes. This is a detox that Dr. Masood and I have done now 3 times. The last time we did it, we probably got the most significant results, the best results, and probably because we stuck much more to the instructions. So,
Where did you go?
page 4. Oh yeah, actually, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me just park there for a moment. Dr. Masood is going to give you some facts and figures. We'll let him talk about correlation between toxins and illnesses.
Okay, one quick fact, I just want to let you know, we have tons, I gotta tell you, I can show each one of you tons and tons of study why animal fats and dairy product, they are so toxic to your body. But because the complexity of the study or the time we have here, I choose one thing that impress upon you the most. So it's really just a couple of studies, but I think it will express the most. Now, when we're going to do any study or research, the more people, the merrier. In other words, if you want to do effects of meat in this room and want to see the how's on your health, it could be accurate, but in 12 people at max. How about 100 people? We get more accurate result. How about 1,000? How about 10,000? How about 1.1 million kids? That's pretty accurate. So they done a study in public school in New York to see the CAT score when they eliminate sugar out of these kids' diet. And they just want to know if there is any correlation. It doesn't get more accurate than that. So, but they started a study because the SAT score started to go lower and lower, and then somebody correlated with sugar, and they said, okay, let's eliminate sugar out of this kid's diet. Guess what happened to next year CAT score? 47%. And they said, okay, let's repeat the study. And they even put all the sugary soda and stuff out of their diet, even 51%. They said, okay, maybe it was accidental. Let's see if it's empirical evidence. Empirical evidence, when you repeat the study, you get the same result. Sure enough, the next year they got 51%. They said, no, let's eliminate all the preservative out of kids' diet. And guess what happened? 55% was the score. Between 39 to 55, this 50, more than 16% increase. That's 150,000 people that they improve their life just by eliminating sugar and preservative. Okay? Now we're going to go on China study. This study is so unique, they wrote a book about it, it's called China Study. All the people in healthcare profession and alternative healthcare, they refer to this study as a milestone. So remember it. It started like in World War II. Somebody saw that Nazi Germany, when they invaded a country, they would get all their cattle, cheese, and things to ship it to Germany for their army. And guess what happened? All the heart disease, all the diseases pretty much disappeared because people had to go on plant-based diet. So somebody says, okay, we go to the Chinese government, say, let us do some study, compare the country to country. And by the way, country is a lot bigger than a city, so it is a lot even more accurate. So rate of breast cancer, they found out where is the most breast cancer. Denmark, New Zealand, US, all up there. And guess what? These are the countries they have the most animal intake fat and protein. And guess what? They're all up here. The country that they have less and less fat and animal protein, they have less and less incident of cancer. Now, in China, the places that becoming more developing, they started to have more meat and their diet become like American standard diet. Guess what happened? Their rate of cancer is starting to begin to rise. Quick study again. This is a major thing. Sugar is not food. Sugar is a drug. I'm guilty of it because we are all drug addicts. What happens? Sugar releases some opiate release in our own body, and that increases dopamine. Dopamine, every time you are addicted to something, dopamine goes up. And literally, we are addicted to sugar like we are addicted to cocaine or heroin. This is should be classified as a drug, not food. Now there is another thing they found out in cheese and dairy product. It's called casomorphin. They call it casomorphin because when the cheese and dairy product breaks in the body, it looks like a morphine. Morphine is the same base that they make heroin, cocaine, and all that drugs. It makes us addicted. So they done a quick study on people who were vegetarian. At the end of the study, they asked them, what did you miss the most? Everybody said, you know, they think they were a juicy steak, hamburger. They said, we miss the cheese because it has this casomorphin. And by the way, about casomorphin is in your handout.
Okay. Did you want to talk about gluten? And
Oh yes, gluten. They did a study on schizophrenia. All they did in Switzerland, they eliminated gluten and wheat from ton of schizophrenia. Almost all of them, they recovered from schizophrenia just by taking wheat and gluten out of their diet. But guess what? Even very little amount, these people came back to become schizophrenic as soon as they had been exposed to those. So these are very quick studies I wanted to expose to you. And trust me, there is a lot of studies, especially with correlation meat, fat animal, diabetes, and cancer. And later on, I go in detail tell you guys that all of them pretty much are the same diseases. Go ahead.
Okay, we have the lights. Thanks, Robin. Okay, so let's talk about what we can do. How can we get rid of these toxins? These toxins have been living in our bodies now for a long time. If you've never done a detox, if you've never done a colon cleanse or anything of that sort, trust me, there are toxins in your body. I've already mentioned some of the symptoms of toxicity. So now if you could please look with me on page 4 of your handout. I'm going to go very quickly through some of the suggestions that we give so that you can have a successful 3-week detox with using just food, okay? Food and water. It does take a little bit resolve, so you've got to be prepared mentally to do this. So we would ask that you refrain from all intoxicants, refrain from all animal products, refrain from the use of harsh chemicals, refrain from dramatic interactions, refrain from being judgmental, listen to your own intuition, and rest